Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience PGA Championship Sweat. Wow. Live. It's not looking great for me out there. Hopefully it's looking a lot better than you. Currently, with the cut line, we are seeing +3. But there's a chance it gets to +4, maybe even a chance it gets to +2 if people start playing out of their minds. Probably not going to happen. +4 is far more likely than +2 right now. The heavy favorite will be +3. We got a lot of names, especially in the DraftKings Millionaire Maker, that are just sticking around that number. Could use a few birdies almost to have a Rory McIlroy or Emiliano Grillo into the round in order to end up playing the weekend and save a lot of 6-6 lineups. But it's not going to be just me in here. We're going to be interacting with the crowds. Maybe we'll have some guests a little bit later on. But Geoff Fienberg is here with me. What's up?
How's it going? I'm good.
It was going better. I played a 6-way, 6-leg parlay. And the first 3 legs hit this morning in 3-ball. And now I need EVR desperately to beat Tommy Fleetwood and Shane Lowry. If that happens, I'll win because I played them 3-fold, 4-fold, 5-fold, 6-fold. So if that hits, I'll hit 3-fold, 3-fold, 4-fold, and we'll be winning.
And there's a 3-way tie, or
There's a 2-way tie. So Kuchar tied Cam Smith, so it cut the odds in half, and then Connors bogeyed 17, and he split with Jim Furyk. They beat the other guy in the group, so it's still categorized as a win.
and Fleetwood and EVR are tied.
No, EVR is ahead of Fleetwood right now. Fleetwood is -2 on the day. EVR is -3 on the day. So, if EVR wants to get to, -6 and Tommy wants to get to -5, I'm all for that. I just need Brooks to come back to the pack a little bit. Cuss has proclaimed it's over. And we're finally seeing that Brooks needs an up and down here.
Oh, shocker. He's going to save it.
Of course, he's probably going to chip it in, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, go in the hole. Please don't go in the hole.
All right, he's going to have
Okay, this is his longest look at par of the entire tournament. I swear to God.
What would you give his odds to make this par putt?
50-50.
Yeah.
And then...
Here, one sec. Let me get the coin.
Oh, this guy, eh? Where's the hole? How far is this putt? Oh, he swamped it.
This is where he's making from.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy.
That's his move. So heads, he makes it. Tails, he doesn't make it. Tails, he doesn't make it. So
Listen, we can use some life. I got to say this.
Okay.
And I'll hopefully say this a lot because hopefully it's still in play. It's really important to me that Fleetwood gets to be I want to be the body. I want to be the body that goes out with Brooks tomorrow.
I would think that was the best case scenario, unless Tommy wants to go out with Daniel Berger and just go post a 65 or something.
I don't think it works like that when the leader's so far ahead. I'm sure people already know our fate of this
feed's
putt.
20 to 30 seconds behind everyone because you have the YouTube delay. So please don't ruin it for us. But the chat remains live. For Christ's sake, just don't make it. It looks like he made it. Oh, she left it short. Bring your purse, Brooks.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Curse is coming in.
So
Curse is coming in, Geoff.
My buddy gave me whatever. I didn't even get his joke, but he's got a party Sunday night. And I'm just like, dude, I can't. For the Raptor game.
Okay.
And the game's at 7 o'clock. He's got huge Raptor fans, and he's going to feed us, get good wings and everything. And I'm like, it's Sunday of a major. I'm probably going to be so spent. And I got 1 or 2 probably a radio hit or something I might have to do. But I'm going to be so exhausted. Win or lose, I should be exhausted. And I don't care enough about the Raptors to brouhaha with the boys. But he called me today to joke, if the tournament's over, you'll come, right? If Brooks is up by X, you'll come. And it was a dejected feeling. But I did have to remind that Mully felt like this at the Masters.
Where he couldn't lose?
It was only Sunday, but he hadn't made a bogey in 48 holes, or I'm obviously maybe hyperbole with the number. But once you make one, now to me is so crucial.
So you think the floodgates might be open a little bit here?
I don't know. He finally made something. But I mean, if he birdies the next hole, we're dead. It is over.
That's what he was doing at the Masters. He'd go birdie, except he was making a lot more. Tiger misses. By the way, Tiger's on the cut line now. He's at +3.
He finally took off the sweater while I was on my way over, I guess.
What's that?
I said, I guess he took off the sweater,
yeah.
the sweater vest while I was on my way over. Yeah. So, right, is that not a thing? like your golf's that game where it's going so well till it isn't. And I'm not saying anything about Brooks. He had a 12-foot par putt to save everything.
For birdie. That's a long birdie for a par 5.
Yeah, this is the long one. He must have been in trouble off the tee because the play-in for this shot was quite far.
How about you make it? That's a good-looking putt.
Patrick! Oh, what a roll.
Hopefully, EVR has like a tap in. I'd check Shot Tracker, but Lord knows what that's saying. How bad has this app been?
Can you...
It wasn't bad for like the first 2 hours. I had to like download an update today. It wiped away all my fucking favorites.
That would have been a putt.
It wasn't great.
Hope a few of those are in the bag tomorrow, Tom.
Gus just texted me and said that'll be Brooks' only bogey today.
That was what, 11? The 11th hole?
Is he on 10 or 11?
I think that was 11. Oh, I'm not... No, 10's the real hard one, so I'll assume that was 10.
That was 10, yeah.
Yeah, give me a break. I literally ran in here to make the 450.
You did. You almost didn't show. I thought I was going to be doing the show by myself.
No. But I caught my breath. We're good.
We're good?
Brooks made a bogey. I got in here for a bogey. Okay, maybe that's a good sign.
That everything is swinging?
For DraftKings, for someone that has 0% Brooks, I think I'm doing fantastic in pretty much a lot of my places.
I'll tell you who's not doing fantastic on DraftKings. Pat Mayo. If Bubba and Sergio somehow make the cut, then I'll be looking a whole lot better. So right now, it's T77 at +4. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys currently at +3. So if all those guys drop back, the cut moves to +4. But we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys at +2. And, you know, it doesn't seem like the double and triple bogeys are out there today like they were yesterday. But, you know, Jason Day proved and Rory proved and, of course, Bryson proved that double bogeys can be in play. But bogey streaks are somewhat in play. It seems like you can get them back, though, is the thing.
Yeah, I've seen a few guys battle back. But, yeah, the streaks can happen. Ask, like, Bjorn Hanan.
Yes.
Or, like, John Rahm. You can just, you can get on them. That seems to be really happening. And I guess, you know, whatever. It's Friday night, but Jordan Spieth second to Rich Beam in strokes gained putting.
Is that where?
Well, Adam Scott might have actually moved the tables since like I last saw Rich Beam leading in the putting stats.
Well, we'll get to weekend golf a little bit later on, like once the cut is locked in, and we'll talk about that a little bit, just based on who some of the value plays are. I'm actually doing okay in Showdown today. I need Max Homa to like do something here coming in, not only for my free balls, but for my Showdown team, because EVR is doing great.
Yeah, I need Reed to maybe hold the line, Stenson to hold the line.
You know what? I could use Reed to make the cut.
Minus he's at +3s, right? He's just. I think he's having a bogey-free day. Dare I say?
I feel like he just jinxed it because he's just starting the back. That's never good. Let's see. Strokes game putting for round 2. Yeah, Rich Beam is number 1. Adam Scott is second. Jordan Spieth an impressive 4 strokes putting today. Lost strokes on approach.
I don't know if people just saw me like playing with my nipple, but that might have been happening for a minute.
You got nip problems?
Oh, I'm just getting the undershirt like off me.
This guy says, "Can it be
warm.
Football season already?" That guy can go fuck himself. It's the PGA Championship. Pal.
Agreed, but I'm getting these. We're not talking about it, but I'm getting pure adrenaline rushes in like May. It's way too early for that, but I'm getting all the feels.
So let's see who the highest owned guys that we're sweating right now. So Sergio is probably number 1. Sergio and Bubba are probably 1, 2. The guys left on the course. I know a lot of people like had Stanley as a sleeper. He's at +4. He's 3 over for the day.
Well, I'd say Tiger's a sweat.
Tiger's a sweat, yeah, +3 right now. Reed and Woods. JB Holmes is a pretty popular sleeper. I have Julian Surrey. I could really use him to make the cut. Stenson is at +3. Peters, who was like 8 over after 4 holes, is somehow inside the cut now.
I did not want to see Rory's battle back today. Someone with 0 investments.
I have no Brooks because I had to make the decision. Do I want to go Rory or do I want to go Brooks? And I was like, you know what? I know that Rory is going to be more than half the ownership of Brooks. I'll be savvy and take Rory. Not so savvy.
But listen, that's the play you make. And we even discussed it, and you probably went further into it. Of all those elite players, Rory could be where Brooks is, leading by 4 or 5, end up winning by 8. Guys like him and Rahm, we talked about, they have the blow-up potential that some of these other guys didn't.
Yes.
And Rory was able to finish strong, battle back, saw putt go in, found some motivation, will play the weekend. That's good for him. Reed, Rum. Well, I believe in him. I don't know. The venue, maybe just not ideal.
Oh, Michel Lorenzo Varra from France. He is here in America to take the PGA Championship back to, he missed the Eagle putt, but he's okay.
That's pretty
Why
short
isn't he
putt.
smoking long cigarettes?
Why
He
is...
should really be playing up the French angle here.
I don't know.
What, why?
I don't like... There's a little thin visor. I don't like anything that I've seen in terms of the outfits.
I really hated Brooks' shirt yesterday. And
the...
Finau's shirt, too, also looked terrible. They
There's
looked like early 90s throwback shirts. Jarrett EVR. Just come inside the fucking top. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
EVR, let's go.
EVR.
Although, since he is the European Luke List, he will probably miss that putt.
No, but I'm wondering if our boy Matt, if Wiley is on him this week. And can you imagine EVR Sundays in America?
Listen, I picked him up last night, 250 to 1, mainly for the top 5 each way, but I don't know if he can somehow come inside the top 5.
Maybe.
Listen, he loves coming inside the top 5. Like, that pays for the next month if that hits. That's great.
Dude.
I can get List inside the top 8, EVR inside the top 5. I'm having a good week all of a sudden.
I said to someone before I came in...
How sad is that? List and EVR inside...
Buddy, I said to someone before I came in here, because Fleetwood's obviously not on each way, Ricky's not on each way, that I might just, my Sunday might be about cheering for at least a list each way.
It pays 50 to 1.
Oh, I could use it.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So it'd be nice.
Keep on holding on.
He's currently inside the top 8, and he's played the back first, which is nice. Anything more predictable than Danny Lee melting down today?
That was even like...
He battled. He was at +6 at one point. He got back to +4 for the day. Harold Varner's having a really good day.
Really nice day. A lot of the...
What's Damon doing?
How do you put this? A lot of the good ball strikers are just playing pretty well, right?
Except for Sergio.
Okay, fine. But I mean, yes, Brooks is leading, but he's almost feeling like he's playing a different tournament. Other than that, it feels like you didn't have to hit the ball a mile to be where everyone else is. He's having a good week.
You think Tiger will make the cut? He's leaking oil here.
Was it... My bold take for the week was that he wouldn't make the cut. So I guess for that to look good, I'll cheer for it. But I don't care. I don't get anything for it, and I'd rather him make it.
You'd just rather have him around for the weekend?
I will say this. You could drink to that because it's Friday, and every time I say that, if you want to play a little drinking game while we go along here.
People don't need to die of alcohol poisoning.
For someone who's if you don't have him in DraftKings, you don't really care for Tiger hype, you'll see a lot more of your other players play really early in the morning tomorrow if Tiger's not making it.
Oh, I don't know about that. They may even put cameras out there if Tiger's not on the course.
The coverage has been horrible, right? You may as well just have the featured group cams because that's really all you get.
Yeah, I guess we're getting EVR shots now. But
EVR's with Fleetwood.
But are they in a feature group?
No. And do you remember when we talked about Fleetwood? I didn't know who it was, but I actually liked the fact that he was in a very low profile group, sort of off the beaten path. And the Brooks shirt from yesterday, I saw a great tweet about it. It's like a shirt like that kind of makes you feel Brooks has lived in Long Island his whole life. There's a follow-up to the EVR shot that's right beside the pin. We've short-sighted ourselves. This is bad news.
Yeah, that's not good. Tommy, what are you doing? Get it together, Tommy.
I really want Tommy in that final group, but this is going to seem hard now.
I'll take EVR in the final group.
Settle down.
But Spieth Brooks. I just want Tommy to get deeper. I'd like to get him to 7. Maybe he can be 2 back. That wouldn't be the end of the world.
Well, he just short-sighted himself on 14.
Yeah, maybe he can chip it in. You always think the worst is going to happen.
I expect the worst.
I like to keep an open mind, although stuff doesn't always go great. Keep an open mind to it.
I agree. I'm calm. Everyone's going to make bogeys. Everyone makes them. Except the problem is there's one guy out there that isn't.
What?
If Brooks wasn't running away with it, I could handle bogeys from anybody. But it feels like everything now matters. From everybody. From everybody. What's the weekend weather there supposed to be?
I don't know. I think it was supposed to be nice before the tournament started. Let's see. I have it hot linked. Wind.
Well, Keimer just finished. He made a bogey on the last to go to 5. So
he's done?
Done. I don't know how.
That didn't really help the cut, though. The cut is now T80. So +3 looking strong.
Do you see Bryson complaining?
And what was he complaining about? Being awful?
He was complaining about the setup of the course, that he had to hit too many 4-irons.
I like it.
And then on one really long hole, he hit a hybrid because he didn't want to hit. All his drivers were leaving him with 4-irons, and he didn't want to hit a 4-iron anymore. So he played even farther back, I guess. I'm not really sure. But I read a quote from him. You know, typical Bryson. But
Weekend weather. It looks like it's going to be windy tomorrow afternoon. And then it like cools out like when the leaders are coming in the back nine.
So when's the next time the majority of players get together? Will that be Memorial?
That won't even be the majority of players.
I'm thinking like you pull Bryson like 50, 60 to 1s next time now?
No, not a chance. Not in that field.
No, like at the next big one if he doesn't move. The next big one could be in Canada.
No.
Rory, Dustin, and Brooks are coming.
That's great. There's 3 guys. This one has 99 of the top 100 players in it, and
Rory,
Bryson was 40 to 1.
Dustin, Brooks.
At the British, we might get Bryson at 55-60.
Rory, Dustin, Brooks, Finau. He made the cut. He finished okay.
I believe he came in at +3. Man, and we just got one back. Who bogeyed? Kyle Stanley bogeyed.
Well, how many bodies do you need to move back there?
We need 9 now. We went from 8 to 10. Now we're back to 9.
Okay, well,
but we have gas cans like JB Holmes and Juice Luton still on the course. And
yeah, and you got a professional in B. McKay.
Brian McKay.
I mean, no disrespect, but I guess I would give guys that have to play the back still, like Lucas Herbert. Think about Surrey in your favor. Surrey's got to play the back also still. But Luton,
I believe it was Surrey who fell back actually. Yeah, Surrey double bogeyed number 9. Great. Thanks for showing up. Fantastic. Thanks, Julian Surrey. Let's see what Tiger can do here.
Oh, I could use an update then.
On Surrey?
A refresh.
Oh, Tiger, is that going to stick?
Because can I tell you something embarrassing?
Sure.
Someone out here has got to keep people in line. I don't have Apple. I just don't like the company for whatever reason. They bother me.
Okay. So you've decided to use an inferior product?
Sure. Yeah.
That works from Tommy. See? It wasn't in.
Make it. No, that was great. Hit the little fluff rough before it. Nice. You think to hit that thing like 12 feet. Sorry, great little chip from Tommy. If you want to know where we are on the time count, if you want to watch with us.
Yeah.
Because we're probably 30 seconds behind you. So you probably thought I was cheering the Vera shot, but I have 0 Vera.
They're probably like, yeah, you really have 0. Is he the guy who won last week? Who was the guy who won in Europe last week?
No, that was Steven Stamkos, Kinhold.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The guy looks identical to me like Steven Stamkos.
I could not tell you what Steven Stamkos looks like.
Yeah,
so
you could.
I really could.
Sorry, you're right. You only know hockey players like circa 92 through like 98.
Yes.
Oh, God. Well, hopefully Tommy can make that putt. It probably still looks like it was 6 feet there.
Just need EVR to make his putt. That would be. We can both make the putt. Then EVR.
Oh,
takes a
EVR's
two-stroke
got,
lead.
EVR's got a great little.
That's right. That would get EVR to
That'd get
-4.
EVR to 4.
Yeah. Wow. And keep Tommy at 5. So Brooks is just middle of the fairway. This goes to what, 3 feet?
Brooks on 11.
125.
I can't watch. I'll say like 9 feet. He let the club wide a bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a par.
Okay.
Although he makes these sometimes too, which is
That hat is revolting. No, but I'm the mark, Pat. I'm the mark that will pay like $33 for the hat.
you're gonna buy a Brooks Koepka hat.
No, a hat that isn't revolting, that the good golfer wears. Like I'm a mark like that.
Imagine having the hair you have and wearing a hat.
Well,
Hats are for bald people.
Dude, firstly, I am pale AF, and when it's hot on a hot day, I got to, man. I got to. I would have no choice.
Oh, this guy has a great idea. He says, smash the like button. Yeah, of course, so we can keep these shows free. This guy says, no? Sorry, you're banned for life, pal. Imagine not wanting to smash the like button, Jeff. How outrageous is that?
Imagine having all the power. You just ban them for life.
Oh, yeah, we'll get Tim in here. He's banned for life. I mean, again, people aren't really banned for life. But, people are complaining about the fans. We're watching it with no sound on, so I can't hear it. This guy that says Tiger fan heckling Koepka, get in the bunker. I'm for that. Let's try to get Brooks back to
we
earth.
got to get Brooks back to earth. Yeah, this is the range you saw Scott was the best at when we did the show this week, and this is the third on the par 5.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, so that will get him to what, 4 or 5 under?
That would get him to 5 if he makes
Oh
it.
dear God!
Let's go. Let's have a make here, EVR. Be a hero
Yeah,
today.
give Tommy a good teach if we're gonna do anything.
That's
Missed it.
No. Oh, you did miss it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jinx it.
You did jinx it. Why are you jinxing EVR? I want to make money here. He beats Tommy. I make money.
I am.
Now you're rooting against me. Don't make me start rooting against you again.
No. Well, what's Fowler up to? We've sat down. We haven't seen one Ricky shot.
It's probably for the best. Ricky's at 2 under. He's 3 under overall.
I would say that had I seen his haircut before the week, I might not have bet him.
Oh, you ended up betting him?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's stupid Xander doing? I thought he was
Is
going to.
that his ball? Oh, it's Tigers.
No, Xander just made a birdie as well.
So he's the 2 or?
He's at +1.
Oh, yeah. Can I ask what Hideki's doing while you got the keys? Tickle the ivory.
Hideki is at -1 overall. -1 for the day. He has a par 5 coming up in 2 holes.
Do I get one more ask?
Sure.
Very important DK player for me, Louis Oosthuizen.
He's making a run. He is now at -2, tight T11. Well, you want to call Cust?
Yeah.
All right, we'll call Cust. Send him the link, Paul.
Still waiting for that orange cola from Coke to show up that we saw those March Madness commercials for.
Was that American only?
Geez, Rose, he's been sticking it.
I mean, if there's one thing that we have seen, there's just a lot of really good. I mean, Spieth kind of withstanding that. Like, there's just some very good. Well, you mentioned like ball strikers, but Tommy missed that putt, by the way. I think Lowry's the other guy in that group. He's also -1.
Fuck. Sorry.
Scott can't miss though.
He's missed a couple, but. Oh my God.
I mean,
Hello, friends.
Hi, what's going on, Cust?
It's not my name.
Heard it was.
I just want to encourage people to smash the like button.
Yeah, and if you say you don't want to, you'll be banned for life.
True. I also want to say I think those Nike hats are amazing, and I am buying one tomorrow.
You also
Those
have
are-
hair. Why are you wearing hats?
Because I like to wear a cap on my head when it's sunny outside.
Man, it's not no good way to get a tan. You'll end up like Stuart Sink.
Oh, what a revolting.
The Nike written vertically on the front of the cap is Fleek AF.
He missed this freaking putt, eh? Oh, never a chance.
Gee, what a shock. We're getting closer towards the end of a major. Tommy Fleetwood misses a putt.
It's Friday.
Yeah, well, it's no longer Thursday, so
Well, are you just mad you're going to have to pay out 20-1 on a Fleetwood top
I
5?
feel like all of Fleetwood's good shots have been used up.
See,
to be honest with
there we go. That's good news. Does that encourage you at all, Jeff?
No. We got to save those, man. The guy winning the tournament saves each one of those. Got to save them.
Oh, maybe Brooks will miss like a 5-footer here. Are you on the same up to date with us? We don't need you ahead of us, ruining everything.
No, I actually paused it a few minutes ago when I saw where you guys were.
So what's happening on your screen right now?
On my screen right now, Molinari's looking down a putt.
Okay, so we're a bit ahead of you, actually. You can
Oh, okay, well, I can fast forward it.
Molinari just tapped in for us.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that Nike outfit.
Yeah, I don't mind the shirt.
Same with Jason Day. Jason Day was fine.
Day was wearing, I feel like, was Day wearing yesterday what Brooks is wearing today?
Well, Day was wearing like that bright red outfit yesterday.
I don't know.
Was it bright?
Yep.
I thought it was like an orange shirt.
And it seemed like
It could have been.
It seemed like Rory was wearing Tiger branded Nike stuff. And I've
Yesterday,
never
yeah.
seen anyone else do that ever. From the collection of. So
Is Nick Faldo just not going to do this tournament? Like, he hasn't been on in 2 days.
He's not a part of this crew, is he?
No, but Nance has been involved.
Yeah, maybe he's just waiting for the weekend.
So what happens next year when Nance on his Thursday, Friday reads for the PGA Championship? Let us know about Nance and Buck will be doing wrestling reads next year during majors.
Really?
Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Won't they be doing that this year?
No, this is TNT's last year with the PGA Championship.
Oh, who is it? ESPN? Who bought it?
ESPN gets it next year as well, yeah.
Well, Tiger is helping the cut line out a little bit by dropping to +4.
Sorry, ESPN is next? ABC?
Yeah, ESPN has the early coverage of the PGA Championship going forward.
And then who has the weekend next year?
CBS. So CBS and ESPN are teaming up for the first 2 majors going forward.
Would you like a miss here, Jeff?
I would.
See, that would be nice, right?
Guy will not miss.
He did not.
Oh, I thought
No,
because you asked me, you knew.
No.
Barf.
I mean, you can't just bank on Brooks missing 2-foot putts the entire time.
I don't know. You said it was 5 feet, and then you asked me if he should miss right before he hit it. Just like you knew about Tommy's miss.
I did.
You know who was making putts today was Phil. Phil made some bombs today.
You knew about Tommy's miss. Adam Scott right at the pin again, club twirling.
Whoa. He's just chucking darts. I can't believe he's making putts. That's the part that blows my mind. But he made like 150 feet of putts on the first 4 holes.
There were like 2 putts that were absolute bombs.
Cuss, is this your guy? I just assume you're rooting for him because he's from France.
I mean, he looks like one of the 3 Musketeers.
I mean, he's from France.
I gotta find
What else
out-
would you expect?
I gotta find out what's going on because I haven't seen Ricky on this coverage since.
The less
sat
we
down.
see of Ricky, the better it is for those of us who have Ricky.
Ricky's on that par 5.
Yeah, in the rough.
See, I didn't need to know that.
What does that mean?
I mean, if they're not showing Ricky, I mean, Ricky's not giving up strokes, so I'll take it. I just need him to get into the weekend here at -3, -2, something like that.
Ah,
I mean,
so
the tournament's over in terms of who's going to win it, but like I can get a top 5 out of him.
who?
Ricky,
I mean, that does you no good.
I'll take it.
I mean, I just want the top 5 out of Fleetwood so I can get paid my money.
Listen, I can't get a winner, so the question is, how much can I really hope for?
How's your DraftKings lineup doing? You have Brooks and Ricky in it. I assume it's
Yeah,
doing all right.
I'm doing okay. Last time I looked, I was winning like 30 some odd bucks in both the Millie Maker and yours.
Who are the back end guys on that team?
Let me pull them up.
Oh, he's screwed. Oh, you got Ben Ann. I fell for that trap too.
I have Ben Ann. I have Luke List, I believe.
You have Luke List and Ben Ann.
I believe so.
That can't. Did you tweet it out or anything like that?
I have a lot of Luke lists.
I'm pulling it up now. I'm going on the website and pulling it up now.
Just sounds like you want to have Luke List, not that you have.
No, I don't have. No, I don't have Luke List. That's true. The Grace and Byung Hun An are going to kill.
Yeah, so you're done.
Yeah, Koepka, Mickelson, and Glover are doing fine, as is Fowler. But
5 of 6 will cash most, right?
5 of 6 should be pretty good. I think it's like 12% right now for the Millionaire Maker cut line. At least I don't realize. I think someone actually just tweeted me what it was in my tournament. It is, if I looks at it, we have around 11%. 6 of 6 in the Pat Mayo Experience Open, but that is before Tiger got to +4. So anyone who has Tiger no longer has a 6 of 6. Do you think Tiger's going to make the cut?
I do think he will just get in on the number, whatever the number is.
Well, the number right now it's a heavy favorite to be +3. 8 guys would have to drop in order for it to be +4, but it's doable. It's not out of the realm of possibility yet.
He's got.
I think he'll make it, but like that's not great for the TV networks because like they won't get to show him live in at all anyway. So whether he makes it or makes it on the number, it almost doesn't matter, right?
Well, no, it's great. It's great for the CBS streaming service.
I guess
Yeah,
that's
it's,
fair.
it's
Okay.
fantastic.
No,
news for
I
him.
hadn't thought of that. Okay, that's fair. But for the television viewer, it doesn't matter.
He's got it. He has the 13th left still. So.
Who?
Yeah,
Tiger?
5, 10,
But it's a
15.
long. It's a far par 5, and Brooks looks like he's center cut on a 500-yard par 4. So. Pick it up and move
Center
on.
cut every time. It just lands so softly for him. It's really been a clinic with his ball striking. Like it's been.
I mean,
very
considering
impressive.
it's this course, Brooks Koepka this is the most impressive performance we have seen in PGA golf in the last 2 years, 3 years. What he's doing at this course at this tournament it's not even close. Actually, it's incredible.
guess so.
Like in terms of like physical performance, like you cannot play better golf than he is playing right now.
He's playing great.
Yeah, but hey, he didn't have a bogey till like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he was in trouble.
Yet.
He was in trouble, and he put it in an ideal spot to save par, or not an ideal spot, but he gave himself a really good look at saving par and half a revolution from doing it. So,
but Francesco Molinari was, unstoppable for 3.5 days at Augusta, and then he completely melted down on the back nine. Sorry. So.
No, it's what I said to Pat before we brought you in. I mean, I don't know. Once if I had money on Brooks, it'd be like you go so long without making a bogey, you almost want him to make a bogey so we can like just get it over with and react from it. Because what happened to Francesco was he finally made a bogey at like the worst possible time. And then it all happened.
I could use Andrew Putnam to go into this water here on hole 8, like Siwoo tried to do yesterday. I mean, Siwoo's meltdown was impressive today.
Why is Andrew Putnam in the water? I know he's out there with Byung-Hun An.
Yeah, one of the 3 balls I played was An over Putnam and like some loser they were playing with.
Well, he's dead, isn't he?
No, Putnam's +1. I needed An to make a bird. Like An's dead to make the cut. I just need him to beat Putnam, but he's 3 down with 2 holes to go. Crazier things have happened.
Is Bubba going to make the cut?
Bubba's lingering. I don't know really what he's up to. He's on the back right now. He got through the tough 10, 11, 12. He's on that par 5. He's on the fairway, at least according to Shaw Tracker.
Okay, Xander just did something good. He moved in a direction because I was looking at him, and then he left my screen. I think I'm out of birdie.
Xander made another birdie, and he's going to be heading to the par 5 right now. Yeah. So he's back to even par. That's good news.
I was going to say left my screen.
Oh, this guy says it could be the list or the week for Luke List. I certainly hope so.
Well, these are not difficult greens to putt on. Doesn't seem like if there's any week he would strike, would be a good one.
If you get unless you're Sergio Garcia,
if you get the pace right,
who parred the par 5. Paul.
Paul's I feel like it's all about pace here because the breaks just aren't there.
Paul is tilting Sergio Garcia right now. He has a 6 of 6 if Sergio makes it, and he had Griot come back and make the cut for him. And Sergio is going to be the one to blow it.
66% 6 of 6 if he makes it.
66% 6 of 6, so 2 out of 3 lineups.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, my God.
He's dead to you? Just never again? Byung-Hun An has lost 3.1 strokes putting today. He lost over 4 yesterday. That might be the most strokes ever lost on the greens in a major.
Oh, here's the Xander putt.
Oh, that's a really
I really wish I hadn't taken him.
What's that?
I really wish I hadn't taken An.
Yeah, not great.
Ricky's making a mess of a par 5.
Which Ricky? Big Ricky or little Ricky?
Well, Big Ricky's already off the course, so it's not him. This Vera guy is actually losing strokes putting today, which is kind of crazy. He might be a nice guy to target in a head-to-head tomorrow. The head-to-head market was not great, but I guess they'll have 2 balls, won't they?
Yeah, they should have 2 balls tomorrow.
So I wonder who he'd play with. He'd be playing with... See him though. I didn't scroll up far enough. He'd be playing with like EVR tomorrow. Fantastic.
Who would be playing with EVR?
Michel Renzo Vera.
There's a group that the crowds will flock to see.
Yeah, I would stream that one. That's why they need to have the live streaming so I can watch my 2 balls.
No, I'm just saying that the people will go to the tournament. They will not be flocking to that twosome.
Oh, listen, I mean, you could have low South African on the line with EVR.
Yes, you could.
Just because we were like doing this, I would be staring at different parts of the scoreboard all day. I bet a List answer head to head, and I'm regretting it.
Why? List is winning.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, he's down by 1. Their answer is -2. List is -1. Like, did you think List was doing really poorly?
I'm just regretting it.
Why?
Hopefully I'm wrong.
But I mean, Answer was a guy that rated out really well as a rebound guy today. You didn't look at Fantasy National, did you?
Look, I played one guy, a guy that I bet on versus a guy that I didn't bet on because I'm going to be doing a cut sweat show.
Well, you got to sweat at least you got to sweat all the way till the end.
Brooks hit it to? Oh, wrong again.
He'll probably make that.
Whose ball's in tight? Is that Molinari or Tiger?
No, I believe that's Woods.
Woods.
Oh, we got another guy down on the cut. We only need 7 to drop now. Oh, that's an odd shot from Molinari.
I really need Stenson to make the cut.
No, that's Molinari who's closer.
I really need Stenson to make the cut.
Stenson?
Yeah.
Stenson's currently making the cut.
Look at these long uphill par fours, man.
This
These
would
things
be a
are all
workout, wouldn't it,
beasts.
Tim?
Oh yeah.
This would be a very yes. I was thinking today what we would shoot off the tips here. I feel like it would be a high number.
Like 170?
I don't know if we'd hit that high, but yeah, I mean, I figured like 125.
I mean, I was talking to someone who played golf with you the other day, and like you got it caught in a bunker and made like a 12. Imagine getting it out of like these bunkers.
Yeah, but I've also started around with a 10 and still broken 100. So it's just because I have one bad hole doesn't mean it's going to throw me off.
Yeah, but if you get into a bunker here, you might shoot like 25 trying to get out. If you hit it, like you're so
Hey, did you see this? This is terrible.
Yeah. Grumpy cat.
He's dead. Wait, what? Grumpy Cat died? I was just talking about Kevin Durant's out. That's way worse.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm gonna be okay
It's
here.
been a long day.
Welcome to the sweat. Nowhere to go but up. It's Friday.
We hope.
We know you have better things to do, so we will do what we can to make this 1 hour joyride just cruise on by. He's Adam Kaufman. I'm an emotional Emerson Lotzi
Yeah,
right
stay
now.
with us at least through dinner here. And on the menu, you're going to find DK Sportsbook platter with NBA pick and roll, as well as showdown picks in both golf and NBA. But appetizer, that's our MLB panel at DK Live. Steve Buchanan, Greg Ehrenberg, and a newcomer to the program, James McCool. James, listen, I know you're a cat dad, so I'm sorry about Grumpy Cat.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer. My girlfriend was talking to me about it this morning, but that's kind of the thing about having an idol that's a cat. It's 15 years at most, you know.
Yeah, you got a shelf life there.
She was
It's like
only,
LeBron.
Yeah. She was only 7, but we're not gonna dive any deeper into that. Rest easy, Grumpy Cat. But James, it is good to
Thinking of
have you. You'll want nothing to do with us likely just by the end of this segment, which we're calling Price Check. So looking for the best value here. We've got tons to choose from thanks to a humongous 15-game slate. The top 3 price bats all play the outfield: Springer, Yelich, Trout. Since top price doesn't always mean best option, we've got a 2-part question. Pay attention here. First, who is the best spot among the 3? And second, do you like another option as your top bat? Steven, you go first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with George Springer here. I mean, honestly, when it comes to these 3 guys, there's no one I'm actually really crazy about of this group. But of the 3, I think I'm going to go with Springer. I mean, look, Rick Porcello has been pretty good against righties. I mean, overall, he's got a 292 WOBA, a 4.22 xFIP, and only 5 of his 8 home runs are allowed. But when you look at these 3 lineups overall, I mean, which team do you feel best about going off here? It's probably going to be Houston, especially at Fenway Park. I mean, and we've seen so many times this Red Sox bullpen and their relievers, cough up runs in bunches here. So if there's anybody I'm going to feel good about, it's going to be Springer.
I'm not sure he knows how to use quote fingers. Like
Pretty good, air quotes. I mean, why not?
Well, like bullpen and relievers, those are real things.
Well, because a bullpen and relievers are supposed to do their job, and they're not doing their job. So you can't even call them relievers.
All right,
you two. It's early. Greg, what do you think? Who do you prefer out of those 3, or do you prefer someone else?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, if it's Mike Trout and anybody else, I'm just always going to default to Trout. He's the best player in baseball, and he's so good to the point that the expectations are so ridiculous. Somebody messaged me on Twitter earlier today and said, why is Trout having a bad season? He leads the American League in wins above replacement. He's second in WRC+. Like, he's just so ridiculous that people are like, why is Trout only doing this? He's the best player. If anybody versus Trout, it's just Trout to me. That's what I default to.
Okay, James, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I like George Springer. I'm with Steve on this one. Porcello's been good for most of his career, but he's also been really bad this year, and he's giving up a lot of contact. He's worse against lefties, but this Astros team is just the best in the league right now. They're the hottest offense. I like George Springer the most out of those 3. Second choice would be Mike Trout because, yeah, it's Mike Trout. But first for me, it's going to be George Springer.
all right. Well, some big name Steve pitchers on the mound: DeGrom, Scherzer, Cole, just to name a few. But assuming that you're going to go big with one of those, you need some value, of course, on the bump. So is there anyone at 8K or less who you'd like to fill that pitching spot with?
Yeah, I don't mind Jeffrey Rodriguez here. I mean, anytime you can target a cheap pitcher going against the Orioles, it's probably worth considering. I mean, this is not someone that's going to go out there and get you 8 strikeouts or anything like that. So make sure your expectations are in check here. But, we started 4 games so far this season. His hard contact rate hasn't been too bad. It's only at 33% so far. And he's limited his walks, too. He's someone who's usually had shaky control, but only a 2.9 walks over 9 so far this season. But, I mean, if he can get you 15 to 17 DK fantasy points, you're in a really good spot here with the value there. But, there's a couple guys on the board there. Kelly from the Arizona Diamondbacks, I don't mind him either. But, yeah, there's definitely some guys here, especially at pitching, that you can fit in to go with some of those top-tier pitchers tonight.
All right, Jimmy. Can I call you Jimmy? We need a value pitcher.
You can't call me Jimmy, first off.
Stand your ground, James.
Yeah,
Don't fall for his crap.
No, there'll be a lot of it. It's just slings over and over.
Second off, I really like Jordan Lyles in this spot up against the Pirates. He's not a super great value, but I think that his strikeout rate is up this year, and he's going up against one of the best strikeout matchups on the slate. They have a 50.2% strikeout rate when they're in a 2 strikeout position. So going up against a weak lineup, he's probably going to give up one or two home runs, but I do think that the strikeout upside is real for this year, and I think that this is a really good matchup to exploit that.
Greg?
Yeah, so there's no pitcher that I really love that's on the cheap end, but I think there's a couple of guys that are kind of like boom bust type options that I could see having upside. One is Trevor Richards at home against the Mets. It's a pitching friendly environment. He's probably not going to get the win because he's going up against DeGrom, but still the Mets have one of the lowest implied run totals on the slate. I think he makes sense. Aaron Sanchez also, his swing strike rate and his K rate have bounced back a little bit this year after he was down last year. White Sox, one of the higher strikeout rates against right-handed pitching. I don't think that Sanchez is particularly good, and I think he's a very risky option, but I think there's an opportunity for upside.
James, you gave us a value pitcher, so in the spirit of fairness here, why don't you reveal a value bat for tonight's slate?
Oh, man, value bat. I really, really like, David Fletcher. I'm going to go with David Fletcher hitting 9th for the Angels because even though he's hitting later in the lineup, he's still hitting really, really well. And I don't like to use cheaper guys that suck. So I prefer to take those guys that are on the back of the order that are going to have low ownership, that are kind of lower price, that I know can hit really well. So I'm going to go with David Fletcher.
All right, Steven, a value bat you like?
Yeah, I like Ryan O'Hearn a lot, 3,400. I mean, there's actually a lot of value, decent value on this slate, and you'd expect that with all 30 teams going. But O'Hearn's got some power, and he's in a good matchup to target against. He's going against Matt Harvey, who, as we all know, or at least you should know, and if you didn't know, now you know, is going against Matt Harvey, who can't get out lefty bats. I mean, O'Hearn has a 198 ISO against righties so far his season. His overall numbers aren't that pretty, but if you're just getting somebody on the cheap and want to get some power, I mean, O'Hearn is kind of one of those boomer bust, big fly type guys. So if you want to get some guys in that can help fit in some of more expensive bats or pitchers, I think O'Hearn is a way to do that over at first base.
All right, Greg, cap us off here.
Yeah, so I still have a soft spot for Matt Carpenter. He's only $4,000, not quite as cheap as the guys that these guys said, but still that's a lot cheaper of a price for Carpenter than we've usually seen from him. He's been a notoriously bad starter, hasn't got off to a great start this year, but really hitting in friendly environments tonight. Cardinals' highest run total on the slate. And still, Carpenter, I think it's just been a lot of bad luck. 239 BABIP, but he has a career low soft contact rate. And right around this time last year was when he kind of started to get going after a slow start. So I think he's going to start to pick up his offense.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to look at some MLB bets later on through the DK Sportsbook with you guys, so stay with us. We'll do that coming up.
What's up? I'm Tara Lanazak, and with your DraftKings Fantasy Flash. Well, we knew Golden State's Kevin Durant was not going to play in Game 2, but now the news is out that KD will miss Games 3 and 4 of the Western Conference Finals against the Portland Trail Blazers. Coach Steve Kerr said after the Warriors' Game 2 victory, hopefully he continues to progress, and he has made progress, but it's a little more serious than we thought at the very beginning. Durant was reevaluated Thursday before Golden State's victory. He is still not ready for on-court work and will be re-examined in another week. The Warriors haven't lost since Durant has been out with this injury and have won 27 of their last 28 games when he is out and Steph Curry is in. So, to my Warrior fans, it doesn't look like there's a need to worry here. But this veteran team will try to close out the Blazers ASAP and give Durant enough time to heal his strained calf before the NBA Finals begin May 30th.
Raptors-Bucks Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals is tonight. We've got some betting questions we're looking to have answered by these two, Matt LaMarca of the Action Network and DFS analyst Adam Mancuda.
I've missed these guys. It's pick and roll time. We're going to give you 2 bets from the DK Sportsbook. Now, you pick one that you like and then roll off the one that you don't. It's really pretty easy. So, Matt, combined points, rebounds, assists, okay? You got to add them all up. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's plus 100 or over 46.5. Kawhi is plus 100 or under 43.5, okay? So which option do you like better here?
I'm going with the Kawhi under for 43.5. Listen, Kawhi has been fantastic all postseason, but this is just a brutal matchup for him against the Bucks. They were first in the league in defensive efficiency during the regular season. They held him to just 10 for 26 shooting from the field in Game 1. And what makes that even more alarming for me is that he was actually pretty good when he was guarded by Chris Middleton. He shot 53.8% against Middleton in game 1, who was his primary defender in that game. But Middleton was really one of the best defenders in the league against Kawhi during the regular season. He held him to 12.5 points per 100 possessions below his regular season average. So if we get some regression in that matchup tonight, if Kawhi, doesn't score at the same rate that he did in game 1, I think he's going to struggle to get back to that 30-point threshold. And Kawhi is still a guy who is going to need to get the majority of his statistics here through scoring for this prop. So I like the under here. I think that it's a touch too high, and I'm not going anywhere near Giannis in terms of an under. So give me Kawhi here.
All right, well, Adam, remember, Giannis plus 100 for over 46.5. He went for 40 in game 1, all right? And Kawhi plus 100 for the under 43.5 and was right around that as well. He came in at 42. So where do you fall on this?
Well, first, I want to thank you guys for having me back. Matt, I love the new look. I think it's really solid
Suave,
look.
isn't it?
So let me kind of dive in here. I want to invest in both these because I actually think they both will kind of hit. I like everything that Matt said about the Kawhi pick. Look, he's going to get the volume in terms of shots. He's going to have to make up a lot of those points from scoring. I think, look, he's going to be very desperate here to get a win on the road. They had it in their hands in game 1. It fell through their hands. Now they're going to want to get the win, get the home court advantage. So I actually think Kawhi, though, is going to go under because of the defensive factor. I think he's going to press a little bit. He's not going to get a lot of the assists, obviously, so I think he's going to go under. But I do like Giannis to have another monster game. I think they're going to come out a lot stronger than they did in game 1. I think Giannis is going to be the key there. I would expect the Raptors to key a little bit more on Lopez also, who obviously had that huge game. I know we'll talk about him shortly. I do think Giannis will probably touch 30 tonight, which means then you just have to get 16 combined rebounds and assists, or 16.5. I think that'll happen. He'll probably get double-digit boards. So between the 30, the 10 or 12 there, need a couple assists. I think both will hit. If I had to pick one, though, give me Giannis. I just think the Greek Freak is going to get off to a much better start with the Bucks in game 2 than game 1, carry them to another win tonight.
All right, Adam. Well, Kyle Lowry put up 30 points in game 1. Do you like him at minus 112 for over 14.5 points tonight? Or Brook Lopez, who went off for 29 in game 1. He's at plus 115 for under 10.5.
Yeah, I like Lopez's under 10.5 here. If you look at the last 5 games that Lopez has played, he's only gone over 10.5 once, and that was obviously the last game. Lowry's gone over 30 twice over 14.5 twice, obviously in the last 5 games. But Lowry's obviously a focal point of that offense, a lot more than Lopez is. I think the Raptors are going to make some adjustments on Lopez, not let him hit as many threes as he did. Look, there are so many other weapons that are keys on that Bucks team aside from Lopez. I just don't trust him to go over 10. So if I had to pick, it's Lopez under that 10.5 number.
Matt, pick one and roll off another.
Well, to be honest, Kyle Lowry under is one of my favorite props of the night. So
okay.
I'm going to be rolling off of his over and agreeing with Adam on the Brook Lopez under here. First of all, I like the plus odds. That's always enticing to me. And I think it's just a really good time to sell high on him. He shot the ball extremely well in that game. Prior to that, he was shooting just 27.9% from 3 during the postseason. And just from a volume perspective, there's no way he's getting up 21 shots again tonight. This is the first time all postseason that he was even above 13. So I would expect him to be more in that 10 to 13 type range. And given a decrease in efficiency and volume, that's a good formula for posting an under here.
All right, well, I think I speak for Emerson when I say we do appreciate your honesty. Here is a player prop of putting up a double-double in tonight's game, okay? Chris Middleton did just that in game 1, 11 points, 11 boards. He is plus 475 to do it again. So you like him to pull off that feat, or would you look maybe at Toronto's Pascal Siakam, for instance, plus 385 to record a double-double? Matty.
Yeah, I'm going with Siakam here. Slightly worse odds, but I just think he's the much better rebounder. I mean, both of these guys should score 10-plus points. So it really comes down to which player do you feel more comfortable with in terms of getting the double-digit rebounds. And for me, Siakam is a much better rebounder than Middleton. Middleton just at 6.5 rebounds per game during the postseason. He has just 2 double-doubles in 10 postseason games. So the fact that he's even at his current odds is just based off the fact that he did it in his last game. I don't think he does it again tonight. I feel much more comfortable with Siakam's rebounding ability. We actually have his rebound prop graded as a 10 out of 10 over at the Fantasy Labs player prop tool. So I think that if I was going to invest in one of these double-double props, it would be Siakam.
Okay, Middleton or Siakam for a double-double, Mancoots. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't think either one's going to have a double-double tonight. If you look at their last 10 games, Middleton's done it twice. Siakam's done it once. What does that tell you? They're both probably not going to do it. But if I had to choose one, I agree with Matt. It's going to be Siakam. Much more opportunity. I don't think he'll play. Obviously, he'll play, a lot. I think they'll probably play similar minutes here, but I think Siakam's just going to get a lot more opportunity rebound. He's a better natural rebounder. Obviously, he's the focal point of the offense a little bit more than Middleton, in my opinion. So, he might have a chance to score a little bit more. That they'll both hit double digits there, but I think he's just more aggressive too. So, in terms of the rebounding, so give me Siakam. But again, I wouldn't invest in either of these two. I take my money and go back to that first question we had and invest both of those before I touch either one of these, unless I was just going to go complete bet against either one of them.
All right, good stuff, dudes. We're going to dive into the DFS side of tonight's game with you two coming up, talking Showdown picks. But for now, it's Francesa Friday with this guy and Mike Francesa.
It's a good time. I like talking about New York. The Knicks, they didn't land the top pick in the draft, so no Zion Williamson. Still, they got third, and that is good. I don't think it's a reason for, a total meltdown there. Who should they take? Is there one guy that you like in particular?
I think Barrett's the best player. I think he's going to be a very good player. Listen, it's all going to come down to one thing and one thing only. Can this regime, can they recruit premium talent, that's Durant type talent, to New York? I don't know if they can. If they can, they're going to get better quickly. If they have money for 2 max contracts, they are set up for that. If they can do that and not spend the money terribly and not settle for players, because that will be a disaster. If they settle for players, they'll be nowhere. You don't want to be in the middle of this league. You want to be getting ready to be good, or you want to be good. You don't want to be in the middle of the league. And the Knicks, I'm afraid, are positioned where they'll feel they have to do something. If they get turned down by the big guys and they settle, they'll be in the middle of the league forever.
Zion's stepdad said he's excited to play in New Orleans. So is there any chance, I know, you can believe it if you want to believe it, but is there any chance that his presence will convince Anthony Davis to drop that trade demand from the Pelicans and give this a try?
2 things that you got right away. You got 2 answers right away. One came out of New Orleans that Davis is being traded.
We're still at T70 right now.
Memphis was taking John Morant. That they were going to move Conley. Conley wants to play on a veteran team that can win, and they thank him for his service, and they are going to build their team around John Morant. And the people who are starting to say that Zion won't show up in New Orleans, he'll show up. Yeah. He won't do that. Because that doesn't work. It doesn't work to sit out the year. That will not be the way to do this. I know he's not happy. He'll go in there. Now, who knows how long he stays, but let's see if they can build a team around.
You think the Knicks will try and trade for Davis? I know they're going to try, but do you think they'll be successful, or is it going to be Lakers, Celtics, or somebody else?
I think it'll be the Celtics. I think the Celtics have the best package. I think they want him. I think the Celtics are ready to blow up their team. I think the Celtics by far have the best package. I think he'll be in Boston.
Warriors squeaked out another win without Kevin Durant last night. 27-1, actually, the last 28 games without KD, but with Steph Curry in. Any chance Golden State does not need Durant to win the title?
No, they need Durant to win the title. They could win the title this year. They could squeak out the series over what I think will be the Bucks in the final. But I think overall, if you want to be certain about things, they need Durant. They can win this series without him. And the reason why is people underrate how good Thompson, right through Green, Livingston, Iguodala, how good Loney, how good all those players are. They are terrific winning players. Plus, Curry plays better when he's there by himself. When he's the lead dog, he likes it better. He fools around too much, and he's too lackadaisical when he's not the lead dog. And since Durant's been there, he's played better. I like his whole force and his whole attitude on the court better when he's the guy by himself. But they need Durant.
So you're not a doctor, and HIPAA's not going to help us out with this one, but Steve Kerr said that Durant's injury is more serious than the Dubs thought. Has he played his last game for Golden State?
I can't tell you that for sure, but I would say that if you were a betting man, you'd say yes.
Interesting. And the question, of course, becomes where does he go next, right?
I think it's going to be – now, everyone tells me that he won't go with LeBron, so I'll take them at their word, although I know nothing about Durant. I think the Clippers will beat the Knicks out for him. I think that when they negotiate with their owner, and I know Doc Rivers very well, Doc Rivers is about as charming a guy as you can meet in that league, and he's great with players. When he gets in a room, if he wants the player, he usually gets them.
Yeah, I mean, even if he has to lock the door and won't let him out.
And he doesn't even have to. He's got a Doc Rivers has got a great personality. Players love him. If you spend an hour with Doc Rivers, you'd love him. He's just a wonderful guy. He really is.
Raptors Bucks. That's game 2. And what does Toronto need to do to even up this series? You think?
Toronto's got to really play at the top of their game. The Bucks don't. The Bucks can win this game where they basically stunk in that game, and they took 44 threes in that game. They were 11 for 44. They won a bad game. That's a bad sign. They don't have enough firepower. They need a huge series out of Iguodala to beat the Bucks. I thought that was the key from the start. Lowry played well. He played really well. You know their big man's going to play well. Leonard's going to play well. They need Iguodala. They don't have enough firepower. The Bucks have too much firepower, too much scoring, and too much freak, and that's why they'll win the series.
Back here on the Sweat, Reed T. Fowler in the hizzy. I have questions. You have answers.
Let's go.
Hopefully. How low would you go is the name of the game here. So what is the latest round you would let the following NFL rookies fall before you absolutely have to scoop them up in your season-long league? Let's start with the number 1 overall pick, Kyler Murray. How late do you wait?
Right, QB, you never really go, I never go early with QBs, right? If you get Aaron Rodgers, the Andrew Lucks, these guys, you always have to draft them super early. So now you get a guy like Kyler Murray, all the fanfare that we saw taking number 1. Yep. Clearly, dual threat, he's got the ability to run, he's got the ability to pass. He's in this new offense now with Kingsbury, but you gotta wait. Patty Mahomes, he was quarterback 15, and look where he ended up. Dak Prescott, quarterback 22, and look where he ended up at QB 10. So I'm going to wait till about 12th round to see it. Obviously, if you're in a 2 QB league, you're taking them up early. But in a redraft, I got him around 12th round because, right, at QB 16 right now where I got him ranked, if he starts to get all of these yards where they have to come back in these garbage games, he's going to pan out a lot in fantasy.
He shouldn't be your first quarterback drafted, though, on your team, right? No. Okay, cool. Next up, running back Josh Jacobs with your Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great spot for Josh Jacobs. Reason being is you're with the Raiders. Marshawn Lynch is gone. So now he comes into this role potentially as a 3-down back. He averaged 5 yards per carry at Alabama in his final season. 20 catches also in the final season. That's not what you want over the entire season, obviously, but he has the ability to be that 3-down back. The guys there, like Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, aren't going to be those feature backs. And again, when you look at that division and potentially looking at the Raiders and their tough schedule, they're going to be coming from behind, and you get those pass yards, you hopefully get those touchdowns. He has the ability to be a 3-down back. So round number 5, got him in that RB2 spot. RB2, RB3 fringe right there, but round 5 or round 6 would be the latest I would wait.
All right, let's go with another skill position player here. The 32nd pick in the draft this year, that was N'Keal Harry. First wide receiver the Patriots have drafted in the first round since Belichick took over.
Yeah, so this one's tough. I'm probably going to wait way late for Harry. A reason being, look, we know that Gronk isn't there anymore. They have Gordon. They picked up Inman, right? They picked up Demaryius Thomas in free agencies. They still have Edelman. Yep. You have a lot of question marks at receiver here, and just a lot of question marks on how the Patriots use rookie players in general. We talked about it. Malcolm Mitchell was the last rookie that we've seen of late with the Patriots in 2016.
Yeah, he's no longer on the team.
Exactly. He averaged only about 4 targets or 3 targets per game over that 14-game span that he had in that season. 4 touchdowns total, but we just don't know, right? N'Keal Harry, great after the catch, around 500-plus yards in his final season in YAC, or yards after the catch. We just don't know how he's going to fare in New England. They're going to need him, right, because they don't have anyone there right now. So I got him around, 14th or 15th round. You're not really banking on those guys. He's probably your wide receiver 3 or 4. If a lot of guys get hurt and we see Brady have to air it out, N'Keal Harry could be a steal in those later rounds. So I'd say around 14.
It's always tough with the Patriots, too.
Yeah.
Deciding, which weapons Brady is going to prefer that week.
Exactly.
First tight end off the board, that was TJ Hawkinson, now in Detroit. Where do you pull the trigger on him?
Yeah,
When?
this is my favorite for fantasy purposes because, again, just like Jacobs, you take him in the first round. Hawkinson, you take him in the first round. These guys aren't going to sit, right? They're not going to sit. They're going to start. He's going to start game one. In terms of catchable targets in his final season, like around 51 catchable targets, he dropped one of those passes. And so you get a guy who can block really well. You get a guy who can catch extremely well. Detroit doesn't really have anyone. You have Kenny Golladay there, but you don't really necessarily have anyone in that spot. Like we saw Eric Ebron when he was in Detroit, and we get a little scared with tight ends in Detroit, but we saw what he was able to do outside of being in that spot. But again, TJ Hawkinson clearly was and is the best prospect at tight end that we've seen probably in a while, and he could become one of the better tight ends. So I got him around round 4 or 5. If you look at what tight ends, if you can get a solid tight end in fantasy football like the Zach Ertz's, the Kelce's, that will put you up. If you can win that position week over week, tight end was a terrible position last year. When you had these top guys, Kelce and Ertz, performing week over week and beating that position and beating your opponent, Hawkinson can be that guy where you can nab at least 8 receptions or 5 receptions around that frame. And if you're a tight end who can get that many targets and that many receptions, that's a tight end 4 for me, so around 4th, 5th round.
It was such a top-heavy position in the league last year. Good stuff, Reed T. Fowler, but do me a favor, hang tight, because for now, live on Showtime Boxing, heavyweight champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder puts his undefeated record on the line against hard-hitting challenger Dominic Trouble Brazil in an explosive matchup between two knockout artists. Do not miss out on the action Saturday night, May 18th, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific on Showtime.
Deontay Wilder wants to be king.
Enjoy this, because it's going to be a massacre.
It's been way too long. Wilder's in the crowd. He knows I'm coming.
Step into the spotlight. And the crowd goes. And the crowd goes. And the crowd goes.
Wilder versus Brazil on Showtime.
Step into the spotlight.
7.
Maybe.
All right, guys, we're going to send you up now to the PME studios where Mr. Pat Mayo is standing by, sweating out the cut line right now for the PGA Championship.
Yeah, and it looks like the cut line has basically wrapped itself up. It's currently at +4, and it looks like it's going to stay at +4 unless something outrageous happens. Like the only thing that can really change it right now is if Julian Surrey, Sung Jae Im, or Joaquin Niemann can birdie 2 of their next 3 holes and no one else drops back, and Tiger Woods has officially missed the cut. Could not chip it in on the 18th green. He'll be putting for par, but that's going to be no good for him. Let's talk a little bit of weekend golf, though, Jeff. Guys that you can have, if it was up to you, and the finishing points don't matter for weekend golf on DraftKings. It's just birdies, it's just bogeys. Brooks is the highest priced player at $10,800. Would you take him?
No.
You just think he might go play par golf?
Yeah, I think he's an incredibly intelligent golfer. He's going to play the golf course, maybe especially coming to Sunday. There are a couple guys I would be looking to.
All right, hit me.
Cantley Saturdays for one.
Cantley's at 92. I'd say the optimal. I wouldn't optimal. What do I know? I'm having a terrible week as it goes. But I'd say Dustin, EVR, and Cantley are the 3 guys that you do want to target.
Yeah, and what do we know? Cantley Saturdays is like Tiger Woods.
And Justin Rose is only $8,900. Woodland at 88 is a pretty good play too. The guy has yet to make a putt all week.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment, and I wouldn't mind Hideki Matsuyama, Pat. I don't think he's been in trouble a lot, and we see him usually lollygag his way through the first couple days and have fantastic weekends.
So the move that I always like to do is just head over to fantasynational.com, become a member, obviously, click on the live stats, and then just start sorting. Just sort by strokes gained, ball striking, which is the summation of off the tee and approach, what you really want to have, and just look at who hasn't putted all that well this week. Second, in terms of ball striking for the week, Eric Van Rooyen. He is minus 1.4 strokes putting. Max Homa and Jason Kokrak are the big outliers, though. They've both made the cut. They're gaining almost 7 strokes ball striking. Max Homa's almost at 8 strokes tee to green, and they both lost over 4 strokes putting for the week. So if you have an opportunity to put those guys in, I believe they're Kokrak 79, so he'll end up on my team. Max Homa is 6,800, and Brooks makes another birdie. Wow.
Yeah, I might have ended the tournament. So get your Showdown lineup.
Yeah, you got to get your Showdown lineup. If you don't have
want
Brooks,
something to cheer for, if you don't have your Brooks outright tickets, even more reason to hammer those Showdown lineups, Pat. And listen, I know he'll be an expensive player, but Rory going off early tomorrow, I think if you sleep in, you're going to wake up to like a crazy front nine.
You think so?
He's another guy that I feel like has putted for birdie all week and hasn't hit anything.
Rory is gaining strokes putting this week. He's been good off the tee. His approaches have just been god awful, and he hasn't been able to save himself from around the greens. So that's tough on his part.
Brooks Koepka doing what he did beside Tiger Woods. You can't put into words. You cannot put into words.
Is the new thing, like if you play with Brooks, you're screwed? That's what happened to Tiger? Oh, Tiger, nice par putt for +5. Not going to be good enough, pal. Luke List also made his par on 15, so he remains at -5. Still has a chance.
Yes, the race for second place, I guess, is on, Pat. And I guess for a couple golfers on the course, there is still a chance to have a prestigious final group pairing. Yeah, I don't know. I know you'd have to stare down Brooks Koepka, but I feel like the guys that should feel like they could beat him or have a chance are the ones that, could stare him in the face and maybe have a couple birdie bogey swings, as unlikely as that feels, especially with a guy like Luke List.
Well, right now, if everything stays as it is, Koepka and Spieth would be the final pairing tomorrow.
Obnoxious.
And it would be Adam Scott and Matt Wallace, Daniel Berger, Luke List, Dustin Johnson, Kelly Kraft, Justin Rose, and Danny Lee. So of the top end guys, it's hard to take anything. Like when I talked about the strokes game ball striking, like Brooks is just destroying everyone in strokes game ball striking to the point where it doesn't even need to be sustainable anymore for him to win. So even if he has like a 71 tomorrow or a 69, it's a great day, but it's not going to win you the weekend kind of thing in terms of DraftKings or even in Showdown. So those other guys the other guys I mentioned I would look to: Dustin, EVR, Kokrak, Hama, Cantlay, Justin Rose, Gary Woodland, some sort of mix of those guys. I guess we look like way down the list.
I would be looking at you again. I know he's on my full week lineups, but a guy like Hao Tom, his numbers from that like long iron range that you get so much of, that 4 iron that Bryson was crying about. Hao Tom flushes them.
Hao Tong's been okay. I'll give you that. Jimmy Walker is someone who is currently in the field, top 10 in ball striking for round 2. He had an incredible round today and lost over 3 strokes putting, and he is stuck around for the cut. So they're showing us the Luke List shots like
we
20
wondered
minutes
if
after
we'd
it
see
happened.
it. We wondered if we'd see it. Good for them. At least they gave it to us. A guy that's been unconscious or very consistent, I should say. He has trouble making any putts, but Henrik Stenson, sort of like a forgotten player, just lollygagging along here, I think could have a solid weekend as well with the ball striking.
So if it's not Brooks, let's take Brooks out of the equation, because we're going to start getting offerings even from like DK Playbook and the DK Sportsbook that we're going to have like bets without Brooks, because Brooks is like a -400 favorite now.
All right, Mayo, thank you very much, buddy. You're doing the Lord's work over there. We appreciate it.
I miss you, Pat.
He's going to keep on going with that cut line show. He's got a lot to talk about, except we appreciate you staying with us for the next little while. Then you can revisit Mayo.
Indeed. Sticky puck time for now, though, buddy.
Let's do that.
While the Bruins are kicking it back home here in Boston, having already secured a spot in the Stanley Cup Final. San Jose and St. Louis taking the scenic route here. Game 4 tonight. We have Chris Wassel of Awesemo.com here to help us out.
All right, so it's NHL opening face-off, Chris. This is when you get to choose between top DK Sportsbook bets for the Western Conference Finals Showdown. So, Logan Couture, he has been lights out really in the playoffs, not just this year, but for his entire career. But as for now, he is plus 155 to score a goal. In this game here tonight for the Blues, he got Vladimir Tarasenko. He scored his first goal of the series in Game 3, plus 143 to find the back of the net again. So which option do you like better?
Look, this is a fun one. Logan Couture has 14 goals through 17 games this playoff season. It's ridiculous. There's no words for it. Poor Vladimir Tarasenko, on the other hand, has just 1 goal in this series and has struggled to light the lamp. However, I will still go with Senor Tarasenko simply for the fact that he is getting scoring chances. They're just not going in. And they may look. Martin Jones can give up a yacker from anywhere. We saw that in the last game. I think he gave up 4 goals in the second period, and I don't think any one of them were particularly all that dangerous as far as chances. So if you just throw it on the net, Tarasenko just has better odds almost by default than Couture at this point.
Well, Blues winger David Perron has a point in every game of the series. He is minus 134 to pick up at least 1 point in 60 minutes this evening. But for San Jose, Tomas Hertl is also listed at minus 134 to record at least 1 point tonight, which would be his first in this series. So who are you going with?
It hurts, but David Perron is on one of those heaters right now that you cannot stay away from. Kind of like how certain players just get in a groove and they just keep on going. Perron has always been that type of player that can reel off 5, 6, and 7 game point streaks. It's just wiser at this point to go with the team that has been slighted. In St. Louis's case, everybody knows about the quote-unquote hand pass that resulted in something that may or may not have been reviewable at the time, depending on who you talk to. And St. Louis is going to come out rightfully pissed. And you expect guys like Perron, even O'Reilly, and of course Tarasenko to do well tonight.
Yeah, I don't care what Erik Karlsson or any of those guys say. That was unequivocally a hand pass. That definitely happened. Officials just missed it. But 2 of the league's top D-men going at it this series here, Chris. You got Alex Pietrangelo, Brent Burns. Pietrangelo, he is... let's see, plus 400 to light the lamp, while Burns is plus 390. Now, which one of these two is likely to find the score sheet here?
It's probably going to be Burns just because, look, he's one of those guys, generates a lot of shots, generates a good amount of blocks, has a great floor, hits the net more often. He has just that hard, mostly low to the ice shot that either creates rebounds or finds its way into the net. The interesting part is if this was, say, Brent Burns or Colton Parayko, you'd have a little bit more of an inkling towards lean to a guy like Parayko just because he has more of odds here to light the lamp, actually. I looked at his line real quick. It's way off from the other two, which means more dollars for me if I choose to piggyback on Burnsy. Try it at least. But for my money, it's always go with the more sure quantity, the guy that gets more volume on that. And out of these two, it's got to be Brent Burns.
All righty, slate approved. I'm looking at the DFS side of this matchup, though, here, bud. So who's your lock in tonight's Showdown slate?
As much as...
Oh, no, you did not!
I just did. I often wear my sunglasses this time of evening because it's finally springtime here, even in New Jersey. We've broken out of that horrible 40-degree weather that plagued us all week. It is still going to be Logan Couture, simply because who the heck is going to stop him? He goes on. Look, this might be the last game of his streak, to be honest, guys, for a little bit, just because the pattern's been 3 to 4 game streaks in these playoffs, and then he goes cold for a few. But it's ride or die with him at this point.
Man wears sunglasses at night.
Indeed he does. Looking exceptional.
I think that song came out about the same year as the television behind him. Chris, thank you very much. Have a good rest of your night. MLB Chase or Fade, and an early look at some of the NFL's rookie class. That's coming up.
Yep. Before that, we have a NASCAR price check right now with Pierce Dietrich.
Welcome to Price Check. I'm Pierce Dietrich. Let's look at the salaries for the All-Star race. Whose salary dropped this week? Everybody's. Eric Jones, $8,900 down to $6,700. Not only do we get funky All-Star pricing, but we get funky All-Stars. Eric Jones is not an All-Star. Ryan Newman, $7,800 down to $5,600. He won the All-Star race in 2002, back when they gave you $1 million and a carton of Winston's. probably shouldn't have said that. Don't smoke, kids. Martin Truex Jr., 11,400 down to 9,500. In the 4 1.5 mile races this year, he's led a total of 14 laps. That's 14 out of the 1,197 laps. 1.1%. Jimmy Johnson, 8,300 down to 6,500. It is a scientific fact that the All-Star race winner has never had a beard. Mustache, yes. Goatee, yes, but never a beard. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 7,300 down to 5,500. He has to race his way in, but it's doable. He ran inside the top 10 all night at Kansas last weekend. Austin Dillon, 7,500 down to 5,800. Is he really an all-star? Yeah, on MLB, everybody gets an all-star. That's who Austin Dillon is. He's a middle reliever for the Miami Marlins. Favorite play of the week, Ryan Blaney, 8,100. He's got a fast car, but the problem is over the course of 400 miles, something always goes wrong. Good news is, only 128 miles this weekend. Kevin Harvick, 9,800. He too is fast, but he lacks late race speed. There's no such thing as late race speed in an 85-lap race. All right, guys, check out the DK Playbook for your DFS information and needs. If you've got NASCAR questions, hit me up on Twitter at @RaceForThePrize. I'm Pierce Dietrich. Catch me on DK Live.
Pierce, great work. All right, let's get to baseball. DK Live's Pierce.
Yep.
Great work. Okay, DK Live, Steve Buchanan, Greg Ehrenberg, and James McCool are back. Again, James, the new guy in the program, if you're tuning in late here. Chase or fade, fellas. We need to know if you agree or disagree with a whole bunch of different stuff that we're going to rattle off here regarding DK Sportsbook bets.
Cardinals and Rangers have a run total of 11.5. Texas scoring 16 of its own last time out, as in yesterday. So chase or fade, the over hits tonight. James.
I'm going to fade it. I understand that that's probably a contrarian approach here, but the reason